All right. Obviously, we're not in the Keys. We're in the garage. We're getting ready for a Keys trip in the next month or so. And I found some old footage from a year or so ago. I think it was maybe 2 years ago of us diving the bridge down there. We usually limit out when we do that. So I'm just going to show you that and kind of talk you through it a little bit. Just do a little voiceover. Hope you enjoy it. All right. Cheers. All right, so we're getting ready, just suiting up. We're using a Hookah rig, and as you can see, we're at a bridge. We've dove plenty of bridges. They all have some structure under them. That's what you're looking for. That's what's holding those lobsters. So, anyways, but we just got a net, a tickle stick, and our dive bag, or a lobster bag. Drop down. You're only in, 10 foot of water, give or take. You could definitely free dive this. We've always used a scuba tank or a Hookah, so it just helps out. Lets you stay down there. We got this first lobster. This is probably the second or third I picked up on this dive. The other ones were short. As you can see here, I throw him in the bag. You can tell after you measure a couple, which ones are good, which ones aren't. So he goes in the bag. That was a nice one. Sometimes you drop right on the X, and then sometimes you got to swim a little bit. But this was probably a minute or two into the dive. It doesn't take very long. You just got to find a little bit of structure, and that's going to hold those lobsters down there. So here's another one. You see I'm using a little longer, or I guess a longer, deeper net than the ones you typically see with the kits they sell at Bass Pro and whatnot. And I like that because it lets those lobsters swim into it. They get all the way in the back, and then I throw that tickle stick right against it and kind of pin them in the corner. And most of the time they don't get tangled up, and I can get them out pretty easy. So that was another keeper. So that's two, and then there was another one sitting right here. I think he was small, and I don't know, that dead one, I can't remember if that was just a shed or what, but so anyway, so here we go. Here's another one. He might be short. I don't recall. You get quite a few that are just at the limit. After mini season, they kind of get picked over, so you got to swim a little bit, and each day as the season goes on, you'll notice that it takes an extra 10 to 15 minutes every day just because they're getting picked over pretty good. It's a popular spot. You'll see it too. During slack tide, the bridges will get packed with people. So, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for slack tide. That's the only time you can dive the bridge. Any other time you're getting swept into the Gulf side or into the Atlantic, that tide just gets ripping through there. But you got a good hour or so to hit it and get your limit. So you just gotta find that. Use the tide charts, and you can find those slack tides. And there's apps too that'll tell you when slack tide and all that. So here we go. You see another rock pile piled up with them, and I think he was a good one, if I'm not mistaken. But we've dove down before and got a limit off of one rock. They get thick down here at certain times. And then another thing to remember too is obviously we have 4 of us. We got the 2 girls on the boat. Don't go down there and fill your bag with 12 lobsters. I've popped up before and had FWC just sitting on the boat waiting for us to come up so they could check our lobsters. And they will give you a ticket for that, for having too many, even if they have their licenses. They got to catch their own. So, do with that information as you will. But at least if you're going to do it, you're only allowed 6 at a time. So get up there and let the girls have a chance. Or help them, assist them, I guess. But anyways, here we go. We got another one going in the bag. And that's one thing you always got to double check too, is especially after this, the second day, there's a zipper on that bag. Make sure it's zipped up. We've went down there before and forgotten that part. Caught a couple lobsters and then wondered where they went. You can see it's a little cloudy today. The visibility is not too bad. It's sunny, but some days it's crystal clear, and sometimes you get it gets a little murky. But then here we go. This was a nicer one also. But as you can see, there's no shortage of lobsters. If you're looking around, you can see those little antennas sticking out everywhere. If you get calm conditions, the bay side or the Atlantic side, you can go find spots out there too. But the bridge is pretty consistent, and during those rougher weather days or windy days, it's an easy spot to hit when those other places aren't accessible. So a snare is another option a lot of people use. I like the tickle stick. That's just what I'm used to. Maybe one day I'll try the snaring method, but the tickle stick works good for me. So you can see there's quite a few lobster down here. But I think this was the first day of our trip, so it would have been August 6th. So there's a little more loaded. You know, it was probably a 5-10 minute dive, and we were out of there. Measuring him, he was legal, so he's going in the bag. Or no, excuse me, I think I let him go. Sorry. Yeah. I think this was the last one. He takes off. But you just want to put that net right behind him, and a lot of times they'll jump right into it, and they get over in that corner and throw the tickle stick on there, and they're not going anywhere. And that's pretty much it. You know, we just hit the bridge when weather's not permitting on the Atlantic side or in the Gulf side. Sometimes it's too windy. The bridge is kind of easy to get to for the most part from where we stay at. So that's kind of that's our go-to down there anyways. But obviously it has some drawbacks, boat traffic, sharks, and then the tide. You know, you got an hour to kind of get in and get out of there. But, you know, obviously it's loaded with lobster and you can be very successful with it. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll be back. We got a couple more videos coming up, so take it easy.